Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing God of War 3 Remastered on Chaos difficulty, and this is my Pain Plus guide and walkthrough. We're currently on installment the 14th. It is entitled Hercules Boss Fight. So this is a boss fight that gets progressively more difficult. It starts out quite easy where ram whoring will be the order of your day. For two phases of the fight. So phase 1 and phase 2 definitely want to just completely just ram whore. There are two archers over here, but you don't have to pay them any mind if you stay down. If you stay by the gate, see the gate down there, you have no problems if you stay down there. And it's not as easy to do it on the second phase, but you still can. You definitely cannot take the archers out of the fight because it would be a violation of the rule, which states that you cannot use the bow on enemies if they're essential to the fight. So once he does drop down, though, you're going to be using this same enemy to ram whore on Hercules. And if you don't have any experience on the challenge called it's called Challenge of Olympus Bare Hands, if you don't have any experience on that, well, this is where you're going to get your experience, because on that challenge and the Challenge of Olympus, you if you did it a certain way, you would do this, where you grab one of the grunts, you ram it at a large enemy. In that challenge's case, it was a stone talos. In this case, it's Hercules. So you just grab one of them. A lot of times, the enemies are going to be so thick and so clustered around you that you're not even going to be able to get out. So what I would do is just let your current held grunt exhaust itself and get torn up, and then just select a new grunt. So you grab one, you ram whore it into him. Just take the enemy, run up to him, and if that grunt doesn't have too much of its HP exhausted, Kratos will encircle Hercules a number of times, and the more, like I think I said, the more the HP it has, the more times you'll encircle the boss, and the more times you will get successive damage on him that will add up. But the main thing about getting hit over here is if your ram charge is ending in any sort of proximity to when his combos are ending, because if they coincide, you're grabbing of the enemy, you're circling of him, and then his combo, there's a good chance that you could possibly get hit. So what you want to do is, if you can, and it really is difficult to do all the time, but you want to plan for your bit of business to be over either before his is done, or completely after his next combo is finished. And again, you can't always time it perfectly with all of the chaos that happens around here. It's not always possible, but it's not always necessary either, so that's the nice trade-off there. So after you've hit him against the spikes twice, you're going to be in the next phase, which this should be, actually. Yeah, armor is for weaklings is his ironic line there, and this is probably the easiest phase of the entire fight. It is the spirit whoring festival for God of Warriors. He walks really slow at you, and as long as you know how to do the super plume and you have no objections to spirit whoring, this would be very easy for you to do. If you do the 6 square attack with the Blades of Exile, the weapon will get repelled off of his armor fist, and you won't deal any damage to him. It's not anything that's going to get you hit, but it's just a waste of time. If you want to do square, square, triangle, you can. TST is better because the first T will give you an indication if you can finish the combo, because the first T, if it knocks him back a little bit, you can safely do the following ST, and that's a good telegraphing system, if you ask me. And obviously, if you don't stun him with the first hit, you want no part of finishing that combo. Okay, and then the final phase will kind of turn the tables on things here, where he has pretty much just his bare fists, and then Kratos has the gauntlets, the Nemean Cestus. So I should talk about that because I missed out on talking about it on an earlier commentary, where the commentary actually failed in the end, because this needs no further explanation, I don't think. The next part, when you get the Nemean Cestus, you all know that it has a different jump. More of a hop, actually. So the hop can be sped up by pressing the square button, and it's that weapon's combat roll, in a sense, or combat hop, however you like to consider that one. Combat hop sounds pretty cool, but the combat hop can sometimes make you hop over to him. If he's not in range, it won't matter, but you want to make sure that he's out of range when you do that. So by and large, you don't want to do the combat roll on I guess it sounds stupid, actually. We're not rabbits, you're hopping around. You definitely just want to do the regular hop, because it suffices, and there's no risk of advancing towards an enemy that you want to generally stay away from. He has punches that you cannot block, but you can parry. But there's a downside to it, because, and this is where I think this fight kind of falters. He has two grab attacks. There's one that when you do he grabs you, he picks you up by the neck, and as long as you tap the circle button and complete the quick time event sufficiently, you don't take any damage. And I presume that you also deal damage to him as you punch him off of you. And then there's another quick time event that, as I mentioned, it looks sort of like his punch, and if you get grabbed by that, even if you do the quick time event, no matter what you do as far as doing it sufficiently or anything like that, it's going to deal you damage. And I think that's really, if it's not unfair, it's just kind of low down is what I like to say, because it's it looks like one thing and you can get damage. You shouldn't get damage. That's always been my assertion, that no, I mean, why am I getting damaged? I did your fucking quick time event, enough of it already. I haven't tested it using the godly possession that does the quick time events, but I imagine that you still do get damaged anyway from it. Okay, so here he is. This is a fairly difficult fight section, because he is faster, and here is his grab, actually. So that is the good grab. You will never see the grab that I don't like, that I call the bad grab, because if he ever did it to me, I would not be able to avoid taking damage, and since I'm always trying to do no damage attempts, it would never find a place in the walkthrough. But when the fight starts, you want to hit him with as many triangle attacks as you can. And in fact, the triangle attacks and being able to jump away from those attacks are so good for avoiding things that they become pretty lucrative for dealing damage. They're not the safest thing you can possibly do, but he gives you so much time that you might as well hit him with as hard of attacks as you possibly can. They have a lot of splash to them too. See that? You just do a couple of hits and then you roll back the way that you came. In fact, sometimes I think that the square attack is a little bit more vulnerable than using the triangle attack. He threw a piece of that spiked wall at us. I think that was the second time we did that. You cannot do the jet dash to evade that, otherwise it's a violation. So you only need to roll to evade that. You don't need to combat roll on that, unless you started out way too late, in which case, you probably deserved it, But I love the disparity of him seeming to be like 8 feet taller than you at the beginning of the fight, and then as we actually fight him, he's just about the same height as Kratos, maybe a foot more, but certainly not fucking 8 feet more. I've always found that ridiculous. I also like the way this game works with your getting weapons, the acquisition of boss weapons. I've always found that to be an interesting notion in games, where after you beat a boss, you get to keep their weapon and use it. Use it or lose it, I guess you'd say. Installment the 14th is finished up now. We've got a little bit more punching of his face and mashing it into pulp, and then we will be down in some sort of aqueduct area, which is a small area, and then we will swim our way over to Poseidon's chamber. He's not going to be there because we killed him in the first video, but his concubine will be there, as well as a lot of dogs and my new enemy, the Bronze Talos. So I will see you over there fairly directly, if I can get these videos finished quickly, and that will be the 15th video. This has been the 14th one. As always, I would ask you to please take care.